What's up, movie buff? Gonna talk some Hobbs and Shaw. This movie, I was excited about this movie because Fast and Furious is my shit. This has been, a long running franchise. I watched the first one when I was in high school when I worked at my first movie theater. And it was like one of the movies that brought me to be so pumped about films and movies and stuff like this. It's right up my alley. It's definitely a guy movie. Had a huge connection with me and my brother for a long time about it. It's kind of like Marvel, man. These movies, they've just got it figured out. They put attractive people in it, guys and girls. They put badass cars, and they put fun times, fun, exciting adventures, over the top, balls to the wall action. And this movie is no exception. It is action from beginning to end. And it starts off with this, basically this dude, he's like Idris Elba. He plays like this cyborg human that's like controlled by, this kind of like a syndicate of this world controlling power that nobody knows about. It's like a myth. They can destroy your life. They run all kind of political and financial games and stuff through the world. Anyways, it's all about this like virus, and it's contained in like this little cylinder. And this virus has the ability to like wipe out the world. Like it goes airborne and it can like kill billions of people. So, I mean, this is the real deal. So basically Idris Elba, he's trying to steal it. And, you can see in the previews of the theater, he's like more machine than he is man. And he goes, I'm Black Superman, and he really is. Like, he has the power of like 20 men. It's nuts. And it's like he's got like little controls in his eyes, like little, he can foresee how much how fast your punches is coming. He can choreograph your movements before you make them. So, I mean, it's basically like he's unbeatable. Like, you're like, what the fuck? And on top of this, he's got this fucking super bike that's like a transformer. And it shows a bunch of previews, so I'm not ruining anything and spoiling anything. But this fucking motorcycle is like, I mean, it's like a transformer and the Bat cycle in The Dark Knight. It's fucking nuts. And it like rides on its own. He like jumps on it. He's got this fucking mask. It's all got a computer heads up display like fucking Iron Man and shit. It's badass, okay? So they got to go against this guy. He's trying to get this virus. And Shaw's sister in the movie, she is like, basically works for, the British government and shit, like Black Ops. And she infects herself so he can't get it, and she runs. And at first I was like, oh shit, she's about to become a badass. She's gonna be like him. Like, I thought that was what. No, she injected herself with the deadly virus so he couldn't get it. And that's basically what the movie's about. He's trying to get to her, and they call in Hobbs because, he's the greatest that America has to offer as far as like Black Ops and like, all the skill set that he possesses. They call in Shaw because across the pond, he's the best that they offer. MI6, same kind of deal, just under the radar, baddest motherfucker in the game. And they put them together because they're going to need both of them to get there. They know that this is going to be like almost like an impossible task. And of course, these movies, the Fast and Furious franchises, have been known for these impossible tasks, and how they do it and how they figure it out. And it's kind of like heist and all this shit. So the only thing that Fast and Furious movies were losing me with was when Dominic Toretto in the first movie, he was basically a low-level criminal mechanic. Now, you did have your tech guy, you had your engine guy, it all kind of made sense, but then it got kind of too big for its britches, and it wasn't making sense. Like, Dominic Toretto was operating Navy SEAL fucking weapons with tactical precision, jumping fucking, over fucking 2 lanes of traffic on a bridge with his car, catching. It just became way too unrealistic. Was it entertaining? Fuck yeah, it was entertaining. That's why we love this shit. It was getting to a point where it's way overblown. Like the last one, The Rock is basically like pushing a torpedo away with his hand while they're fucking floating on this, basically like this glacier. This submarine is coming up. Really? I mean, it's The Rock, but still, I mean, come on. So that's what they were losing me with. Like, how did fucking all these motherfuckers that used to be just low-level mechanics become CIA agents, jumping out of planes and fucking international espionage and shit? They were losing me. This is a little bit more believable because these guys are trained. These guys are set for this kind of shit. So it's a little bit more believable because they have the background for you to believe that they can actually pull this shit off. So we all know they don't like each other because in previous films they've had a problem with each other. You know, they kind of had to work together to get a certain, accomplishment. This is the same kind of deal, except it's just them. There's no Dominic Toretto, there's no team, there's no nothing. It's just them. And you can see right here, this is the first time they meet. Like, he's an asshole. Like, they're so much alike that they butt heads. And they don't see that. But, towards the end, they like, okay, we basically, the whole movie is about them working together, coming together to get this task done, to beat Idris Elba. And it's like, it's an impossible deal. I mean, you can see in the previews, there's some crazy shit that happens. Don't get it twisted and think, oh, this is a more believable movie. Fuck no, it's not, okay? Fuck no, it's not. They do the most unbelievable shit in this movie. And it's like, okay, the first two acts, I was like, okay, pretty fucking crazy, but I could see if the skill set was there, that maybe, possibly, in a fuck ton of luck, that could be accomplished. Third act, no, it just goes off the fucking rails. There's no possible way this could happen. But basically, like I said, they're working together. The Rock, of course, kind of develops a little for Shaw's sister, and Shaw doesn't like that. And you've got the buddy cop back and forth routine. And I will tell you, the banter between The Rock and Jason Statham is fucking priceless. That's what makes the movie. These two guys are so charismatic that they just go off each other on and on and on. And they're just ripping on each other. But that's pretty much what the whole movie is the whole time. And it is so comical. Uh-oh, technical difficulties. Stand by. Got it. It's so comical, and it just works. They just work off each other so well. And I was really blown away with how the rest of the cast, I mean, the acting, Idris Elba is Idris Elba. I mean, he killed it in this role. And the dude is just a badass. Like, the character is badass. Everything he does is badass. It's like I said, he's Black Superman. He's unfuckable. But they have to go off the grid because they're trying to extract this virus out of the girl, right? So, of course, and you see in the previews, they go back to Samoa, The Rock's homeland, where there's, he's got family. As Vin Diesel would say, family. It's all about family in these movies. That's how it all comes together. Anyways, his family, he had some falling out with him. He has to kind of go back and make things right. He does. And when you see it in the previews, you see all these Black Hawk fucking, helicopters and these fucking tactical dudes all armored up, geared up, machine guns, badass ass fucking military you could get. And they have Samoan weapons, like ancient fucking sticks and ceremonial blades and shit. And you're like, really? You guys are gonna fight them with the no, that's not. So the way they do it in a way where you're like, okay, I'll buy that. I'm not going to spoil anything. I'm not going to spoil the cameos. There's 2 cameos that are priceless. I love them. I hope that I know that this is going to be a future installment. Hobbs and Shaw are going to be its own branch of the Fast and Furious franchise. And these 2 cameos are going to get bigger roles in upcoming films. and it's gonna be dope. And I love it. Like I said, action fucking packed, funny, all like you're laughing all the way through the movie because, like I said, these guys they just ooze charisma and they're good on screen. Everyone is well played. There's a plot that is interesting, even though it's way over the top. It keeps you interested. It keeps you looking and waiting and hoping, and you're like, okay, and you get drawn in. So definitely see it. We saw it in IMAX. Fucking kicked ass. I would definitely give this a high 8 out of 10, maybe even a 9. Go see it. Until next time, see you at the movie.